Hey, we had our 30-second countdown. I don't even know if that actually happened, but hey, we're here. Trev, so I'm going to just kick this off right away. Congress is on recess, and the second round for stimulus is in negotiation. So there's really no stimulus money ready for the businesses. So what is next? Stay tuned.
It's Wednesday, WTF Wednesday. That's not to say there were not glitches, and there are still glitches happening.
Welcome to WTF Wednesday, where every week we talk about stupid that we've encountered that you should try to avoid. Hey, we're here. It's WTF Wednesday, and there's really no good news that we're going to be sharing it at this second, in this very moment. Congress is in recess. No new stimulus money coming to business owners near you. So what happens, Trevor? What is next? What's going on? What's left? Tell us now. But before you tell us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we are talking about business owners. We love business owners. We are the small business owner cheerleader, and we need business owners to survive. So click on that button and click that bell. Okay, Trevor, what's next?
Nothing.
Oh, man. Wah, wah.
Womp womp. First round of stimulus, at least, for our clients, we were able to obtain over 2.2 million and
More now. That's old news. That's old news.
PPP and EIDL, and our clients are already crying that they're running out of money, and they keep asking us the same question. Until Washington, D.C., I'd rather say Washington, D.C. than Congress, because it's not just Congress that's at fault. The White House has thrown a lot of massive wrenches into the works here based on politics and not based on helping the country. So until Washington, D.C. gets its act together and passes an actual stimulus package, there's nothing. If your business has not yet applied for the economic injury disaster loan, the SBA EIDL, you can still apply for that through December 31st, and we are still signing up clients for that. So you're welcome to reach out to us, curious at auroraconsulting.biz, to inquire about our service on that aspect. And we've had exceptional success with that program, and we still are. We put in 2 files for clients on Sunday afternoon, and we already got an eligibility for one of them within 24 hours. So, it's true, yeah. And substantially more than the client expected to be approved for.
It was 4 times as much.
Unless 4 times as much. But as far as what's left, there's nothing else out there. There's no other disaster financing. Nothing, as in zero, as in nada, zilch.
Nada.
As in, vacuum of the outer space.
Yeah. Okay, but you know what? Let's see if we can turn this around just a little bit.
This is me floating around as a dead astronaut in outer space, in the vacuum.
Can we just
2001 Space Odyssey?
Yeah. But can we just talk about pre-COVID business lending and what that means during COVID, and what banks are doing now that we're 5 months into this? Hello, Tim Sohn.
Hey, Tim. I like your question about what banks are doing now, 5 months in. Your first question to me about stimulus, what's left, my answer was nada. Zero, vacuum in outer space. The good news is, when you ask me what are banks doing now, there are actually some banks are opening their doors, and some lending is happening.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
As in YES. Yes. We are working on some new pre-COVID type of financing right now. We've got a restaurant startup that we're doing. We've got a delicatessen purchase that we're working on. We're doing a very interesting kind of working capital mixture hybrid for an existing retail business that's an environmentally friendly type of business, and he has an opportunity to expand like in a massive way. And we were able to have a very positive conversation with a bank yesterday where they're going to give him a loan, a line of credit, and a business credit card, which altogether gives us the amount of money that we need for the client. So, but the words at the beginning of that conversation yesterday with our banker that we spoke to about 4 different loan scenarios, she said, Trevor, it is so challenging.
Yeah.
And this is a bank we've worked with before, we've closed deals with before, and they have done some very challenging and difficult and loans for us.
That was pre-COVID.
She said the guidelines are just getting tighter and tighter. Underwriting is impossible. So there's that aspect, but there's also the aspect that not a lot of banks are offering loans. And if they are, they're also keeping it to a very narrow scope of the types of businesses that they will lend to, the types of industries that they will lend into, the types of markets they will lend into. Their number one concern is, how is this business going to survive COVID to make the payments? And then there's, so they're looking at the businesses from that point of view. So while there is not zero, there is a little bit available.
Right. So I want to jump into a challenge that business owners have had when it comes to lending, when it comes to credit. And so the thing is, it's already restricted the type of lending or how the process is in the types of industries that banks will lend to. Add to it, if a client is thinking that their credit is such that maybe they think it's negative, or they want to repair it, or they need to fix it. So can you just share some of your insight when the DIYers out there who think that they are solving a problem before they even know there's a problem? Can you talk to that about what they should do before they do anything?
Nothing. Do nothing. Nothing. So just background, 30 years as a mortgage banker, I have literally read thousands and thousands of credit reports, and I have seen personally, firsthand, actions that people have taken on their credit report, voluntarily or involuntarily, actions that have affected their credit reports and subsequently my ability as a lender to lend them money to buy or refinance their home. So now we take that 3 decades of experience, we bring it over here, which is why I'm shaking my head. And when you ask me what should they do, I'm saying nothing, because I promise you, there is nothing you as a consumer can find on Reddit, on YouTube, or on any of these other, we'll try to be nice here, any of these other sources that are going to give you the kind of accurate information that you need. What you need to do, really, and before we get to us and what we do and people like us do not ever pay anybody to repair or restore your credit. It is a scam, a criminal scam. The Federal Trade Commission, go to ftc.gov, type in the search box, credit repair, credit restoration, and the FTC will tell you, scam. I've seen personally the actions that these alleged restoration repair people, who I call all of them criminals, I've seen firsthand what the results are. I've sat in the back of real estate offices. I've run credit reports. I've sat with people who, when I sit with them and say, you have a 537 credit score and you have all these collection accounts and you have all these derogatory accounts, I can't give you any money to buy a house. What are you talking about? I paid those people $1,500. They showed me a report. It was all gone. Yeah, it was all gone 7 months ago.
Right.
But what they don't tell you is it can come back. So never pay that. So now, to go to your question, what do we do? When you're working,
actually, that wasn't my question. Well, now I don't even remember what the question is.
I do. You see, you're in luck. So what we do at Aurora Consulting with professional financing brokers like us do, and there are many of us out there. There are a lot of fakes. That's a whole other WTF Wednesday. But there are a lot of professional financing brokers like us out there who will run a credit report up front.
Yes, up front. That's
And
the key. That's
and
where I was going with that, by the
yeah.
way.
Because when you apply for commercial financing at the bank doesn't run the credit report till very late in the process, in the underwriting stage. With a broker like us, because you're an advocate, we're your advocate, we run the report right up front.
Right.
And we will then say to you, listen, we have some challenges here that let me call some banks and see if I can make it work. That was part of my conversations yesterday with one banker on 4 different files, of which we got green lighted on 3, and the 4th file, because of credit, the banker said, I want to do the deal, but because of credit, I can't do it. So that's what a professional financing broker does. When you tell us you're working on your credit before you sign up with us, we just shake our head and go, "What? You're wasting your time, because you can't possibly know as a business owner what a bank is accepting as a credit, or what issues are real issues to a bank, or what are non-issues to a bank." Like, for instance, and then I'm going to hand it back to you. Collection accounts. We see this all the time. People, they've got a $150 collection account from an old doctor bill that their insurance didn't cover, and the doctor put it to collection. $150. And another $230 cell phone account from the teenage daughter who forgot to pay the bill, and it went to collection. So you've got, $380 worth of collection accounts, which is, giving you a 638 credit score. Otherwise, your credit is good. We see people all the time, this DIY, let me take care of some credit issues, and they're going and they're paying off those collection accounts. Well, number one, you don't know that when you apply for business financing, if the bank is going to require you to pay those off. Why don't you wait until the underwriter tells you, hey, listen, we want to do this loan, but you must pay these off as condition of approving the loan. That's when you pay it off. Because the second reason you don't want to pay it off is when you take an action on your credit report on any account that is reported as derogatory on your credit report, such as a collection account or a charge-off, and you pay off that collection account, you pay off that charge-off, and if the creditor updates your credit report because it's recent action on a derogatory account, your credit score goes, boom, immediately down 40 to 60 points. So you have just blown up.
Right. But to the opposite of that is if they were to get proper consultation on what is represented on their credit report and what they think is negative or what they think they should do. There are also some positive things they could do that quickly raises the credit score, especially if they're in a position where they want to look for financing that's non-disaster financing.
Well, that goes towards what I said earlier about the information that's available on the internet, Reddit, YouTube, all this stuff. People always try to tell me what they think they should do on their credit report. And one of the positive things that you can do is to pay down balances. But there's so much misinformation on paying down balances, how to do it correctly.
Yeah, like when to do it and when to do it.
When to do it, and also, how much you should do it by. So what we tend to see, what I've seen in my professional history, is we see people paying off their entire balances. So they've got a zero balance. Well, you do that, you've literally just given the credit scoring algorithm nothing to score you on, because the good account that you just paid off to a zero, now you don't have an active account. So there's a lot. And again, the advice that I give to customers who sign up with Aurora Consulting, we do not charge for that advice, because it's a scam to charge for that advice. And secondly, it's based on what I have seen with thousands of credit reports, real actions that will work. And more importantly, when we run the credit report, we're not even talking about giving you credit advice. What we're looking at the credit report is saying, can I make this work with the lender? And if so, what lenders do we have in our hopper of different lenders on our matrix lender? We have a pretty eclectic, large array of lenders we place our loans with. We start reaching out to the lender and say, hey, listen, I've got this credit situation, I've got this asset situation, I've got this cash flow problem, or, how can I make this work? And the lender says, well, if you do this, if you do that, or not interested in the loan, fine, hang up, we move on. We don't even start out by giving you credit advice. What we start out by doing is what we're supposed to do as a broker. go and find a lender who's willing to give you the money in your
Correct.
condition as you are right now.
Right.
And then if it's an obstacle that cannot be overcome, then we come back and say, all right, maybe we need to work on the cash flow. Let's get you CPA on the phone, or we have to work on credit, or we have to work on assets. Let's get a gift of equity or whatever.
Well, when I used to own the insurance agency, one of the things that I used to tell people is a couple of things. You have to buy the insurance when you don't need it, because when you need it, you can't get it. Number one. And number two, one of my favorite quotes as a way to help people understand about being proactive was JFK had once said, you repair the roof when the sun is shining, not when it's raining, which is when the problems arise. And I think with business owners and the crisis that we're in and the challenges that have presented themselves with the worst crisis we've seen in our lifetime, you have to look ahead on what you think your business projections could be, and if financing is part of sustaining or growing.
Preaching to the choir.
I know I'm preaching to the choir to you, but I think
can I get a witness?
Yeah, well, and one of the products that we created was, so maybe you don't need financing, but you need to organize yourself and your business and your documents and everything that goes into the process of getting a business loan. We created a consultation, a flat fee consultation, so that people can get their credit run and not rely on the consumer run credit. And then, strategically plan for what documents they will need, which means what documents to update on a regular basis.
Well, our consultation, it's a flat fee consultation that basically, in the mortgage business, we would have called it a pre-qualification. So even if you don't need business financing today, if you're considering it as something you might think about on the horizon, or you just want a peace of mind that should you ever need it, you want to know if you'd be qualified. And if not, we come back and we say to you, you're not qualified right now, but if you take these actions.
Right.
And so, by the way, what we often see, too often, is we see that people rely on their accountants and their CPAs entirely too much in terms of how the financial statements are prepared. And, we get referrals from accountants, not to throw them all under the bus, but these, and I'm trained as an accountant. I mean, that's what I studied. So when you're training to be an accountant, you're training, ledgers, debt, debit, credit, balance sheets and so forth, how to prepare a financial statement, how to prepare tax returns. It's about numbers. It's about moving numbers around. It's not about looking into the aspects of those numbers and how someone in the future or today might view those numbers, whether it's you want to bring in an equity partner or you want to apply to a lender for financing. And we find that business owners too often rely on the accountants to just go ahead and do what they do best, which is to get them lower tax liabilities. When we do our flat fee consultation, we can then see that today and say, hey, listen, it looks like you've got a great CPA, you've got lower tax liability, it's great, but if you apply for financing right now,
it's going to work
against you. You're dead in the water. So you need to have a conversation with your CPA, and you need to start changing things on your financials and yes, you potentially could be paying higher income taxes as a result, but you can't have both. You can't have negative cash flow, low tax liability, and then ask an equity investor and or a lender to come in
to give you more money than it looks like you're making. Right. So anyway, so I think between your 30-year mortgage lending career and my insurance career, the main theme for business owners, which is more important than ever, is how proactive. And I know it's a tough ask to say, hey, listen, I know you're busy and I know that your business is running in the background, but if you have plans to keep your business alive and survive and thrive, there is an element of being proactive to put your team together, get your professional team together, and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to buy a building one day, or I want to, I need to
expand the business,
I want to expand, I
or
need
like with our
more money.
retail client who has an opportunity to secure a product, which he told us he cannot keep this particular product on the shelves.
Right.
But he also does not have enough cash available, cash liquidity. Well, not even liquidity. He doesn't even have the cash to make the kind of investment that takes his business with this particular product way up to the next level.
Right.
I think you bring up really an excellent point. So let's kind of do a little storytelling metaphor, right? So when you say business, you're busy running your business in the background, except, when you hire an employee, you invest the time to train that employee, correct? I mean, I don't care if you're serving ice cream across the green here at Tasty Waves. Hi, Jeremy. We love Tasty Waves, by the way. If you're in New Milford, please come to Tasty Waves. Tell Jeremy and his crew that Linda, Ray, and Trevor sent you.
Yeah,
But
he's next door. He's probably listening to us right now because we're so loud. I just sent him an email.
Hi, Jeremy.
Sorry.
So his office, his corporate
He's
office,
not watching our
is next,
live broadcast.
but his corporate office is next door. But so even at Tasty Waves, which is an ice cream joint,
yeah,
Jeremy trains his employee. He invests the time. He takes time out of the background noise of running the business to train the employee. We got ice cream there the other day. We had a wonderful young man named Ian explain things to us.
Yeah.
All right. So there is that aspect. Well, our flat fee consultation of taking the time to get yourself, an assessment on your ability to get financing is the same thing as training the employee. The second metaphor, story, analogy, whatever you want to call it, is this. 2 weeks ago, Isaias struck the state of Connecticut.
Right. Yeah.
The entire state was called a disaster area by Governor Lamont. We at our house had no power, which means we had no water because we're on a well.
6 days.
6 days, no power, no internet, no cell service.
No
nada.
Water. Yeah. No water,
and
no coffee, no shower.
It's the kind of disaster that just comes out of nowhere. Well, let's talk about our retail client with this unique product. Had he put himself in a position earlier on to be qualified, even if he didn't act on getting a line of credit, if he had knew from someone like us what things he needed to do to be prepared, then when he suddenly realized, oh my God, it's kind of like, honestly, his experience with his product is very much like our experience with the storm. It came out of nowhere. It's kind of saying he got this product. It's a very environmentally free, green friendly product. Can't keep it on the shelves. When he realized what an amazing product it was, and he also has a distribution opportunity, exclusive distribution opportunity from the manufacturer, he couldn't act on it because he didn't have his financials in place.
Well, and let me just say this too. We met him last year. So it was probably in the fall, the early fall. We met him last early fall, and we're still working with him to get him situated in a way. Now, we met him pre-COVID, and then COVID happened, but that just goes to show that October is only 6 weeks away. That is alarming to most people. I will tell you, I am really looking forward to the colder weather. I can't stand this heat, but that's how long it's taken to get him to educate and get him situated properly to be ready so that he has, and he's in a perfect situation for factor financing, which many banks don't do and most people don't know about. So we have to, it takes time. So that's why you got to be.
Well, he was one of the scenarios we ran past our banker yesterday, and she loved the deal. And in fact, we're submitting an application for him tomorrow. But so again, we see this often where a business owner will come to us in a crisis kind of situation, like I need cash now.
Right.
And then we look at the financials or the credit report.
Right.
We assisted a restaurant to open last year, and without going into nitty gritty, the credit just 23 different lenders told me, stop talking to me, Trevor. This is not a file. We will never consider this file.
Is this a joke? Because it's not a file, right?
We
So,
got the
yeah.
financing done. It was horrific, the terms of the loan, but we
Yeah.
got it done, and
And
they
they
were able
paid it
to.
off in 5 months.
Well, yeah, I mean, they knew going in that their cash flow was going to be crazy. They had an amazing concept. They were moving into a very affluent market. Their demographic was spot on. Their business plan was spot on. But to get the financing, and it was crisis, because had we known them substantially earlier, we probably could have given advice and prepared them for it. So again, if you compare what we do at Aurora Consulting to you walking into the bank on your own,
Yeah.
we
Well,
do it all up front. The bank does it later, and if they come up with an obstacle, they don't tell you how to fix it. They just decline the loan.
right. Well, that's the other thing too with us and our relationship with the banks. The banks, we have bankers who send us business because they know that we're advocating for the client, and they couldn't help them because they can't talk to the client the same way we can talk to the client, and the banker can't talk to the client the way we can talk to the client, and the client can't talk to the banker the way we can talk to the banker. But before I go on, Jerry Alina is with us, and Jerry, I have to say,
Hey, Jerry.
I'm not going to get Trevor started on his rant on credit repair services. You'll have to go back and watch the replay because you must have logged in after we went through that.
And it was only like a 4% rant compared to the full 100% rant that I would normally do.
Exactly. It's not a favorable discussion, so I will just leave it on the side because we already went through that.
Can you imagine being Linda and having a pizza with me and me doing my credit rant over a pizza?
No. I mean, the only thing is just like maybe the chewing of the pizza will drown out the yammering that you have going on a regular basis. But anyway, and Corinne Thompson is with us. Hello, Corinne.
Hey, Corinne.
Anyway, yeah, so we talked about pizza. Now I've lost my train of thought on where we were, but that's okay because we are on 27 minutes, and I just want to take this time to say thank you to anyone who has tuned in and has liked the video, who is watching the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Linda, Ray, and Trevor, where we talk about business financing and getting entrepreneurs settled in with understanding the nuances of getting financing done successfully, especially now. It's crazier than ever. So it's very important to have a streamlined, efficient process. So with that, do you have any final words on COVID non-disaster financing?
I do. If you have not already done so, you need to immediately reach out to your congressperson and your senators and admonish them, encourage them, and beg them to get to the negotiating table and get the second stimulus package done.
Yeah.
Get it to be a done deal.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
It is necessity to help businesses get the funding they need to get through this disaster.
Also, we just wrote a blog that is relevant to what we discussed in this broadcast today about banks processing loans and what's going on now with non-disaster financing loans and what opportunities you may or may not have available. So please go to auroraconsulting.biz. There is a Let's Blog tab at the top. You will see the most recent blog that will pop up, and there it is. So the main thing is just reach out. Also on our website, you can get a financials documents checklist that will show you what banks are looking for. And really, there's going to be minimal negotiation on what the banks are going to need from you, especially now more than ever, because they want to make sure that you are viable with how you can
survive the pandemic.
Right, and pay the loan back. So just want to say thank you, Trevor, for 30 years of knowledge that you can impart on us and business owners, especially through this time while they're trying to get financing, because some financing is an amazing opportunity if it's available to you. So thanks, Trev. And we will see you next week on WTF Wednesday. Please like our YouTube channel. And thank you so much. Have a great day.